I'm Oliver Chang, and I'm from the Google Play team. I'm really excited to have these guys here. We have some of the cast of NBC's hit sitcom, now going into its 5th season. We have Adam Scott, Amy Poehler, Aubrey Plaza, and Chris Pratt. So,
hi guys.
Welcome and thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get Aziz Ansari and Michael Schur here today, but we're glad to have you guys and excited to have you guys here.
Mike is busy working on the next script and sends his regrets he couldn't be here.
So let's just jump right into fan questions because the fans are here. They're excited to talk with you. We're going to have fans in the Hangout ask you guys some questions, and we'll also take some questions from online. Let's start with Ann Royce, who's from Washington, D.C., and she has a question about Season 5.
Hi, guys. So my question is, now that Ben and April are in D.C. in Season 5, and Leslie's going to start working at City Council, and was going to keep proceeding towards them working in more of a bigger government sense, or if it was going to stay true to kind of the local small town government.
Oh, I think you were asking, is the show going to, deal with big time politics or still stay with? Yeah. I think that the show, it's safe to say, is always about Pawnee and people kind of coming in and out of it and what they do when they leave and stay. So we visited DC, but I don't think there's any big plans to take the show to DC permanently. But you never know, because if anything, if you can count on anything in this show or in life, is that change is happening all the time. So I don't know. Anyone else want to?
Yeah, it's interesting. Being April and I are in DC, and I mean we're still there. I have no idea. I mean, we may just be there for the full season, for a couple seasons. We have no idea. So it's interesting having these two different worlds kind of simultaneously.
And you do get to kind of see a contrast between small town Pawnee government stuff with the DC world. It makes it funnier, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's always a threat that Leslie's ambition will take her away from Pawnee, so that might be
right.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Anne. We have a question next from Ryan Wenstrup-Moore, who is from Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh.
She has a question
Hi.
about stars.
Hi, that's me. I'm actually from Cincinnati, but I live in Glasgow, Scotland now.
Oh.
My question is, if you could have anybody guest star on the show, forget about budget restrictions, forget about scheduling conflicts, who would you have guest star and who would they play?
Anyone?
I'd like Bill Murray to play the mayor.
Me too.
Me too.
So
Not me.
I know he loves. I know he loves to hang out. He loves Google Hangouts.
Oh man.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, are you?
Bill.
Did you get Bill?
Click on the thing.
It's crazy.
I believe Bill has a question.
Yeah.
And then if there's no budget, if we don't have to worry about the budget, then I'd like to try to use that new cheetah robot that NASA just developed that runs faster than Usain Bolt. I'd like to try to get that on our show as a cameo.
And what character would that play?
It doesn't matter. I was told money is no object, so you just keep it in the background.
Yeah.
You're just running around all the time.
Yeah.
I would like Harrison Ford to come in some sort of capacity, just because I would freak out.
What if he was dressed like Han Solo?
That would be crazy.
Great. We have Savannah Harvey. Let's bring her into the conversation, and she's from Clemson, South Carolina. She has a question about the filming of the show.
Hey, I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, and I go to Clemson University. I'm a sophomore here in food science. I was going to ask what everyone's favorite part of the whole filming process is.
I like for us it's a little different. It might be hard to explain without having to fully explain how all the different types of filming. But sometimes shows, hour-long dramas, for instance, are shot on a film camera. You have one camera. They really focus on making it look beautiful. They set a lot of lights. The process itself takes a very long time. Can be quite tedious. Then you take something like our show, we use these really light handheld broadcast cameras similar to what, say, a news guy would use if they were covering a storm or something. And we light it so it looks fine, but we're really trying to make a documentary, and so it's very loose. And for me, that's my favorite part, because it allows for us to just say the lines a lot more and run the scene more times than you would if you were doing something that was so focused on the picture. You know, there are these things called dolly tracks, which is like a little temporary railroad track that you set up, and you set the camera on it with big wheels, and you do these slow, dramatic push-ins. You see this in these dramas. We don't deal with any of that crap. We just like get 3 camera guys, slam the cameras on their shoulders. It's really as close to a bunch of, you know, preteen friends making a movie in the backyard as anything on TV, and it has that sense of just fun. So that for me, that's the best part of filming on this project.
We also do after we do a bunch of takes of the script, sometimes we do this take called the fun run, which is what we call it, where we kind of mess around and try to make each other laugh, and that's one of my favorite parts, is when we get to do a fun run, because it's fun.
Any particularly fun runs?
No.
No.
No, they're all very serious and fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
They usually end up being longer and less funny.
That's right.
We usually end up being the take where Chris will, instead of just like punching a wall, he'll destroy the entire wall, or he'll destroy something, or hurt himself.
Yeah, it's fun for us. But, I don't think it's that fun for everyone else who's dying to go home. Good question.
Let's have a question from Dee Dee Baldwin, who's currently from Starkville, Mississippi.
Hey y'all, I'm Dee Dee. I'm an evil librarian at Mississippi State.
Ah!
Boo! Libraries! Down with the libraries!
I'm a book jockey.
Podcast.
Are we ever gonna find out what Leslie did in her 20s before she took the job in parks? And what do you think has taken her so long to really start pursuing her political ambitions?
Like a prequel.
Yeah. Well, it's just like a librarian asked such a smart question. Congratulations, librarian. Everybody loves your question the best. Such a brown noser. No, thank you for that great question. I don't know, we talk about it a lot. We had we talk a lot about there's a little bit of stuff coming this season where you find out actually a moment you learn about when Leslie first started working with Ron, and you learn a little bit about that. But we should just do like Parks and Recreation babies, where we just have kids play little baby versions of her.
Like Muppet Babies.
Right.
I'd like to see Leslie. I'd like to see Leslie in college, like Saved by the Bell college years.
Yeah, I think she
Leslie.
kind of ripped it up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
That'd be my theory. Probably.
We did see Leslie in elementary school last season.
That's right. We had a wonderful young actress play her, and that was really fun, and not very dissimilar from what I was like as a kid.
With the campaign video.
Yeah,
on
we
YouTube.
got to see her when she shot a video of herself. Yeah, but yeah, and then your other question is, I don't know. You only get one question, library.
And any other librarians can go ahead and just close your computer. Get the hell off of our Google Hangout.
Disclaimer, you can keep
We
your
don't need
computer.
your well-educated, well-thought questions.
Yeah, go sort out some books.
Yeah.
Give it to somebody else.
We're just kidding, by the way. Love you. That was a great question.
Let's bring Kelly Herson in from Pullman, Washington.
Hey, Wazoo.
I think Kelly didn't make the switch over.
Oh,
I'm another Kelly.
okay, we'll go to the other Kelly first. Kelly Herson comes back. We'll get back to her at the end. So, Kelly, why don't you go ahead?
I'm Kelly. I'm from Ottawa, Canada, and my Burt Macklin code name is probably going to think about it later. I was wondering what each of your guys' favorite episodes were of the whole series.
Wow.
That's a good question. I mean, I always like the ones where we all get to be together. So.
Yeah, I really like the ice skating episode when we're all on the ice.
Oh my gosh.
It's really fun.
Love that one.
A lot of like group physical comedy.
Oh, that's
So
right.
that was fun.
I'm a sucker for any time it's a Christmas episode because that's always really the last Christmas episode was really special. I thought for me, so that was a big one.
I liked the. There was in season 4 we did a debate episode, and that was. Did you write? And Amy wrote and directed that episode, and that is not why it was my favorite episode. No, but actually that's one of the reasons that was such a great episode. But I got to kick a TV. I got to like do a Rambo impression, and it was just really I remember it being a really fun episode, and it was also just Amy has a very contagious laugh, and when you're making a comedy, laugh is hearing a laugh is like is like I'm like a rat at the feeder bar. If someone laughs, I'm like, oh yes, oh please. And she's very generous with her laughter. So from behind the monitor to hear Amy laughing, it's all the time as a director, because when she's not directing, if she's not in the scene, she probably will, she may not be there. So when she's directing and has written the episode, then she's there to laugh the whole time, and that just makes it such a fun experience. So that was probably my favorite.
I just watched the gag reel. There was a scene with Adam and Louie, and I was just in the background laughing the whole time. Louie's like, shut up! Sorry! We're recording sound.
Thanks, Kelly.
Cool. Thank you.
We have, let's bring in Ross Fowkes from Nottingham, England, and he has a question for you.
Hello, my name's Ross. I'm from Nottingham in the UK. It's a question for Amy. And Leslie Knope, the character, has a load of like heroes and role models. And were they the writer's choice for the character, or are they your personal role models?
Oh, that's a good question. They were mostly the writer's choice, although I probably myself would agree with most of them. But that was a combination of the writers and the art department working well together, because I think we just showed up one day in the office and they kind of had put up women, and we had to okay whether or not we thought there were suitable women to hang on the wall. And what I like about it is it's very nonpartisan. There's Condoleezza Rice, and there's Madeleine Albright, and there's Nancy Pelosi, and Bella Abzug, and there's a picture of me as a little kid, and then there's some funny things that we don't know who they are. There's like some random suffragettes that we can't identify. And so I think it really was a combination of the art department and the writers, and I know that, for example, a couple of months ago, I said to Sher, can I put Mary Pickford in my office? And he was like, sure. I forgot. So.
Were you running at the office? Cool. So who is your personal favourite?
Of the women in the room there?
You don't have to say Margaret Thatcher. That's fine.
Yeah. I wasn't going to. I would probably say either Posh Spice or Mel B. Either Mel B or
political
Posh
figures
Spice.
over time.
Yeah, or someone from Take That, or
Makes sense.
yeah, or trying to think, or maybe who else do you have over there? Jody Marsh.
Cool. Good job. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Next question is from Ashley Blevins from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and she has a question about your characters.
My question is, how do you hope your character comes across to the people watching? Do you want them to be inspiring or silly? I don't know. Silence.
I don't know. I think first and foremost on our show we're trying to get laughs, like we want to be funny and stuff. But I think the show also has a lot of heart, which means a lot to all of us. And so, I guess we want the audience to care about these people as much as we do. That's part of it. And then we want to be funny as well.
I want people to be confused by my character and also have a feeling of not knowing whether you want to strangle me to death or kiss me real hard.
So you're dead on, yeah.
And I think you accomplish that every week. Thank
Mhm.
you. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, great. Sorry. And did I get everyone in the Hangout, or let me know if I've missed you? I know Kelly Herson couldn't join us, but she really wanted to ask this question. She's from Pullman, Washington, and she asked if you could.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, if you could do any crossover episode with any TV show in the history of television, which show would it be? Which show would you choose, and how do you want the episode to play out?
In the history of television.
In the history,
of television.
Oh,
going back to the Stone Ages.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well. I know what comes to mind. Cheers. I would want to go to the bar in Cheers, and or have. I don't think they'd leave the bar, so I think we'd have to go to Cheers.
I think our show would mesh really well with West Wing. That would be cool. And then Rob's character can see his character from West Wing, and the universe could explode. But then our show would end, so that would be a bummer.
Yeah.
It would end on a really good, it would end on a well-written note.
Yeah.
I would like us to go, like, maybe we could take as a cast, but the group of us could go on The Price is Right and be in the audience, and Leslie can go, or maybe we can go to submit a video to America's Funniest Videos. But like what crossover show to where we're not. Yeah, that's
We're
like
contestants.
we're contestants on something somehow.
It's like a show within a show.
Real Sex on HBO.
Yeah,
Real Sex,
yeah.
right? Exactly.
Just give
Yeah.
it a
That's it.
All right, now we're going to take some questions from online, from our Google Plus page. People who are watching. Tan Coles, and sorry if I'm butchering names here, asks, how are you guys going to treat yourself this season?
Oh, well, gosh, I feel like Aziz and Retta should be here because at the very least, we're going to buy ourselves some fine leather goods. At the very least, we are going to get some fine leather goods. And you're going to wear your Batman.
I'm going to wear my Batman. I wore it for Halloween last year, for real.
Yeah.
I borrowed it.
No way.
It's a pretty amazing Batman costume.
It was. It's super uncomfortable.
April gets to treat herself by wearing some fancy, power suits in the DC office, and she gets to kind of snazz it up a bit. Really fun. Yeah, that's right. She's real snazzy in the office. She wears heels.
Yeah, that's right. It's a big deal. Yeah.
It's a big deal. And that's how Andy gets to treat himself. It's the power suit.
He treats himself every night after.
All right, we have a question from Lauren Jiggers. She asks, who inspired you all to become actors, and who inspires you all to keep being actors today?
Well, so many people, right?
Yes, so many people.
Yeah, so many people continue. I mean, I know I can speak for all of us. We're really big fans of a lot of TV that's on right now. I know we watch. Like, one of the cooler things about being included in any awards ceremony or getting any kind of recognition is that you get to meet and be around people whose work you really admire. So we've gotten to do that the past couple seasons, which has been such a perk of getting to be on the show, is getting to talk to people who are on shows that we like.
People from Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad. It's crazy to get to talk to them. Because, especially Game of Thrones, like, you don't think these are people living in the modern world. So it's crazy to talk to them.
Well, Adam just met Caitlin Stark.
Yep. Yeah, it was amazing. Oh, and also, Louis' show is really great, and he was on the show, and that was amazing. Louis,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big Christopher Guest fan growing up, and those movies were always really inspiring to me. I always loved Catherine O'Hara and Parker Posey, and it was really cool when she was on our show because I got to talk to her, and she was like a big one for me growing up.
I'll say SNL. I mean, Amy, of course, is on SNL, and that's not why I'm saying it. I'm coming across as like a library person here. But probably Amy Poehler. No, I think like Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler, were huge, icons of mine. But the biggest was Jim Carrey and his career, and also his performance on SNL. When he was on SNL, it was, to me, just, I don't know. I was in high school, and I loved it, and I stole it and did word for word his bits as if other people hadn't seen SNL, and if it was my own. That'd be my tip. Steal material. Who gives a shit? Don't let anybody tell you you're not supposed to.
Now our next question from Google Plus comes from Emma Hitchcock, and she asks, if you did not play your character, which character would you want to play, and how would you play them? She wants you to show us. I don't know if you want to do interactive demonstration or just talk about it.
Well, the problem is that we're stuck to these seats. We're taped to these seats. On the show, who would we want to play?
I know who you would want to play. You would want to play April.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to play Leslie.
What about you guys?
Mark Randanowitz.
There you go. That would mean you. Yeah, there we go. Well, you know why?
Is he ever going to come back to the show?
Maybe. I mean, Paul's doing such great stuff and working all the time, and I know he's I just saw him doing something recently that I just read about. He's working on some new show. But
Newsroom, yeah?
Yeah, but he's doing something else too. He just signed on to some So he's a great actor. We love working with him. So.
Great. Let's also talk a little bit about the upcoming season. What can you guys tell us about what to expect in season 5? That's spoiler-free, or if there's spoiler alerts, just let the internet know.
Well, Ben and April are in Washington, D.C., working on a congressional campaign, and so that's happening. And then also Leslie is a city councilwoman now.
Yeah. We were kind of joking, but not really joking, that season 5 is about lost bearings. That everybody is a little all over the place and spread out and trying to figure out what's important to them. So we find Leslie kind of having her job, but not really knowing how she's going to be in it, how she should vote, how she should act, what she wants. Same with Ben in D.C. He's got this job and he doesn't know if it's the right fit for him. Same with April, and Andy's trying to figure out what. So it's kind of like
be with real humans.
Yeah, well, people are right there.
We just had Kelly Hurston jump on, actually.
Oh, cool. So blah blah blah.
Yeah. Anything else about season 5?
No, I just said it.
Oh, is everything?
Look like John Ralphio.
Great.
You'll see Jean-Ralphio. He's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The great Ben Schwartz. And he's actually growing his hair. He sent me a picture of his hair to be like, look, I'm getting ready to come back, and his hair is crazy.
Good.
He's a hipster now.
So Kelly, actually, already asked your question for you, but I know you want to say hi, so just introduce yourself and say hi to these guys here, and then we're going to have to actually wrap up, unfortunately.
Okay, hi, I'm Kelly Hurston. I live in Pullman, Washington, and I love you all so much, and Parks and Rec is like keeping me alive in graduate school, so thank you so much.
That's amazing. Hey, I'm from Washington State.
What part?
I'm from a little town called Lake Stevens. It's near Everett.
Yeah.
Earlier I said, I was stupid, I said WSU when they said Pullman, but that's Pasco. Where is Pullman geographically?
It's WSU is in Pullman, and it's like right on the border of Washington and Idaho. It's on the far, far east side.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, sweet.
What are you studying in graduate school?
English literature.
Who's your favorite writer?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think my favorite like contemporary writer is David Sedaris, but I'm also a big Margaret Atwood fan.
Cool.
So yeah.
Excellent.
Great. Glad you could finally make it, Kelly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. But I do really want to thank you guys for coming here. I want to thank you, Adam, Amy, Aubrey, and Chris for coming to our offices and for hanging out with us today.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And for everyone watching, make sure to treat yourself to some episodes of Parks and Recreation, which we have on our Google Play Store. Thanks, everyone, and bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.